everybody, my name is Sherry. Welcome to my stamp studio. So the project I'm going to do for you today, those of you that are in my upcoming online class for the art of stamping, you know, the projects that we're doing all have pearls, the new pearlized, well I guess it's not new because the catalog's more than halfway done, the pearlized enamel effects and the gold leafing. So I was busy creating some really fun projects, but whenever you do stuff like this, at least when you do a class for it, I have a whole stack of stuff that I'm not using. Some because it just didn't work with the cards, some of them because it's a hot mess. So if you're in the class, then I will show you a few of the things that are headed for the trash can or headed for other projects, which this is one. So this card, super quick. You don't need a die cut machine. You need an embossing gun. I have always had an embossing gun. Well, I had a paint stripper way back almost 30 years ago when I started stamping because there wasn't such a thing. So to me, that is a heat tool is a must have. So if you don't have one, you need to get one. And I'm going to do a little bit of embossing, a little bit of heating. But in this class, I am going to show you how to use trash and how to make your own pearls. Or this video. Did I say class? Got class on the mind. I have a practice Zoom this afternoon for my upcoming onstage presentation. So I'm trying to, and my husband's going to come home this afternoon and work from home because he has a doctor's appointment. So it's one of those days where I'm trying to cram a bunch of stuff in early. So I'll slow down just a bit. I'm going to use the Trees for Sale. Super cute set. It was like all the rage when you could get the dies free for celebration, but you don't have to have the dies. If you did get them for celebration, then you can put some extra pieces on using those. And then I'm going to use Framed and Festive. This will be available starting November 1st, or if you want to sign up and join my team, then you get the Art of Stamping class for free. All of my team members get the online versions of my class for free. And this will also be featured in my upcoming online card club. So watch, I'll do another video with the rest of the pieces because on this one, the words are all super cute. I love the font, but I needed a small Merry Christmas that looked kind of modern. And you can see this one right here is perfect for it. And then you could put one of the others on the inside of your card. So let's start first. Let's do the stamping part. So this is, well, I use these a lot. These are one of my favorite things to use because if you put your adhesive on the back of the empty dimensional sheets, it doesn't stick. So if you have a die and it goes through, then it tends to resist the areas where there's no paper because it just peels back from that and it pops onto the paper. I am going to use them today to create my own pearls. So this is super, well, you're going to love it, but mine are kind of a hot mess. One, I was working on this class and for some reason my cat thought she had to be on the table all the time with me, and I kept trying to get her off because there were a few of things that she stepped in. One was this, so they're a little smushed, the ones I'm going to show you, but I didn't want to wait another 24 hours to do the video. And not 24, it probably takes about 12. So this is the white, but you can do it with all three colors. The packet comes in the pearl, the red, and the black. So you literally just take them. Mine's probably a third gone. It lasts a long time, but I've done all the projects for the class. So here's a couple of things I've learned. You need to put them a little bit farther apart than you think because they do spread a little bit. And come back for another video, one of my upcoming tutorials when I film on another day, and I'll show you these. So you can see they kind of come out. They have what I call the Dairy Queen cone top. You don't have to do anything to that. It will naturally go down on its own. In fact, this one's already starting to. And make them a good size. But the fabulous thing about making your own pearls is you can make them whatever size you want. So if you need little itsy bitsy ones, you can. If you want big ones, one of the sets that we're using in the class is the Boughs of Holly. So, you know, it has some larger holly berries. You could make them that big. So then you just need to set them aside where nobody's going to step on them. So you would get thousands, literally thousands of pearls. These are the iridescent, so they have a coating on them. Thousands of pearls that you could make from the one thing. But there's a lot of other things you can do with them. That's my class. But we're going to use them like that, and we're going to use them on that. So save the backs to your dimensionals. You know, we always like to use the edges. So we're going to use those in a second. Let's go ahead and stamp our card. Now, when you use this stamp set, I think it's easiest if you're going to add the lights, because you know it's a tree lot. So I got warm, and I opened my window back up because it's pretty cold here today, and now I'm freezing. So I'll get through this video and then I'll go back and shut it. So I'm going to start with my lights. Put those up there. So that's the string of lights for our little tree lot. This reminds me, the grocery store down the road always lets the Boy Scouts put a tree lot in every Thanksgiving. And it looks like that. And then you're just going to match this piece up with that. And with photopolymer, you can see if you stamped everywhere. And it's really important on these bold ones that there's ink everywhere. So now we have our lights. That's the only thing I need black for in this card. Now I'm going to stamp the actual trees. The other thing that you're going to get to see is all of you who have not yet bought the parakeet, which is a fabulous green and really modern and on trend, because you have the granny apple green and you think they're the same color. You're going to find out they're not the same color in just a sec. So always start with your largest image. So I've got my big tree, and you're just going to fill in your lot. So I can get about 3 of the big ones in. This stamp does work better if you stamp on the foam mat, but it's okay. And maybe I want them to be even. I'll put that one there. These are no place where my other one is. Well, every time, see? Every time I miss that. If you are on the foam mat, that doesn't happen. Now I'm going to, so that's parakeet. Now I'm going to go to granny apple green. That some of you don't have this color because you have this color. And they're the same, right? That's what you think. Because they do look very similar in print. But look how granny apple green looks like a dull green when you put it with the parakeet. It doesn't even look like the same green. In fact, when I had it the first time, I was like, maybe I didn't pull out granny apple because it is not the same green. So you need both. Just saying. Let's put one here. One there. And then my other one doesn't have, I'm just going to leave it. I thought about putting one there. Then, so see, look, I told you they're not even close to the same color. I have a little piece of scrap paper here. I'm going to take the tiniest tree. The set comes with 3 sizes of trees. This one does need to stamp well. I didn't have any problem doing it a second ago. Let's get my hands nice and green so when I move on to my upcoming Zoom thing, I'm already dirty. Now I'm going to use shaded spruce. And I'm going to do the 2-step up on all of them. And I'm going to do them all in shaded spruce. This will help kind of cover up where I have the mistake. See, nobody even knows. It looks like the tree got snow on it. And we're going to add some snow so it'll all be part of the thing. Add these. So the shaded spruce, even though the trees are different colors, it kind of just helps with the depth perception. But then the shaded spruce kind of ties it all together. Got those. And this one, if you have the dies, if you got the free dies during celebration, then run it through with your die. I did get them, but just to show you, you don't have to have them. You just trim it out. So the easiest way to do ones like this, kind of trim that out and then just take your snips and move your paper. That way you can kind of just give it that framelit kind of look. Like maybe it went through the framelit. Nobody has to know. Most of the people that we give these things to don't even know what the things are called or how we did it. So just kind of move it. Like that. And then I'm going to grab one of my dimensionals from where I'm starting a sheet of pearls. Pop this one up. It's not in the same place as my other card and it won't work there. I do have to put it here. because I need room for my greeting. And again, make sure these aren't getting touched, but look, the little dome is already almost gone off of them. So just gravity creates a great flattening for it. Now I'm going to use my Versamark. You could use the white pad. And then my tiny little Merry Christmas that I no longer see. Oh, I didn't realize it was red rubber. So stamp this on here. And this is literally a piece of scrap. We're using lots of trash. Lots of stuff that in somebody's studio, and maybe mine, if I was not so busy right now, would have seen a trash can. This is our white powder. So if you're doing the class, I will tell you in the class, or if you just are doing a lot of stamping this season and you are using heat and stick and white powder, I highly suggest that you put some Sharpie or something on the top of your, one of them, probably the heat and stick, and put a big X through it because you don't want to use white powder when you're meant to use heat and stick or vice versa. So just heat this till it melts. And then again, no dyes, nothing special, no punch even, just cut it out. And this is whimsical. Those trees aren't straight, those poles aren't straight, so don't take any time fretting about if you cut straight. When there are these tiny little words, it doesn't, as long as you turn around them, it's straight enough. If you can hold on to it. So we're almost done. Okay, so here are the ones that I made yesterday. These are ones I made this morning, but then I realized I wanted to film, so they're still not dry enough. So let's go over here. These are all of the ones. I have some black ones. These are the ones my cat stepped on. These are the red ones. These are ones that I added gold leafing to, and I haven't brushed it all the way off of all of them because, you know, my class was gold leafing and enamel effects. So I will come back because this didn't get a project and can't. Maybe those ones that I just did, I will put some gold leafing on. And then here's just my white ones that have a little bit of leftover black from my cat's toes. So you could do them in white because we all love white pearls, right? But I want this to look bright and cheery. So I'm going to take my blends. This is Dark Poppy. And just give them the colors just like we would regular pearls. Because, you know, this is what we do with our regular pearls. I did find that to get a brighter color, if you let those dry a second and then go back and hit them with a second coat on the ones you want to be a little bit brighter, it does brighten them up a little bit. I tried coloring them with my Wink of Stella, and that looked fun. So really whatever colors you want. I do think that the dark blend for most of the colors is the choice that you want to make. I don't know if I would like pumpkin pie. It looks okay, I guess. It's not on my other card. I don't remember what card I swapped out. So now you have the pearls. Well, obviously they're not self-adhesive, right? So you could put glue dots here, but I am a huge fan of the fine tip glue. So you do need to loosen them all because they're just stuck on there. See, they just pick right up. So I'm gonna move all the ones I'm moving. There's 6 lights, so we need 6 colors. So just loosen them, and until you go to use them, they're not gonna fall off. They're gonna stay right on there. So let's take my fine tip glue. Just add a little dab to each light or wherever you want to put your pearls. So instead of them being self-adhesive like we're so used to from our embellishments, you just make them adhesive. And I'm gonna use the picker upper part of our take your pick, but sometimes because there's the adhesives on the paper, I found that you have to kind of drop it with your finger. That one fell right off because I said that. Because normally the glue would hold it to the paper and you would lift it up, but since the glue's wet, So if you don't like doing this, you could do a glue dot and it would be much more this similar. You could press it hard on it. Isn't that adorable? And literally, that doesn't even cost any money because to get that amount of, to squeeze out of the pearlescent is super easy. Take my shaded spruce cardstock. And so you can see the Granny Apple Green is brightening up after I first stamped it. It's really a lighter version of Old Olive, and Pear Pizzazz is one shade lighter than that. Put this on here. This one I cut a little bit smaller than my original because of our next step. I wanted a little bit more of the spruce paper to show. You want to make sure that you get this adhered on here pretty well. And I'm doing it this direction because unlike my embellishments that you buy, these aren't dry yet. And we do have embellishments that you buy that you still have to adhere. It's not like we don't have those. So now I'm going to take my bone folder and use it for what it's supposed to be used for, to get that nice good crease, because we don't want this lifting up like that. As some other trash. I keep all of my old Stellas till they are like dead, till the tip cannot be used anymore. So let's take this where we've got our pearls going. And now I'm going to move to this Snowfall Accent Puff Paint, where if you have both of these, again, you might want to do something. You can tell them more than once. And you know, when you work and my space got smaller and smaller and everything was closer and closer, I was like, yeah. And this isn't even in the class, so I moved it out of the way. So it comes out pretty runny. So just put some on here. Great little palette. This is an old one because they have clear. So I've been using the heck out of this thing for whatever. And every time I have an empty Stella, I just move it into a cup because these are so useful and you'll never have to buy another paintbrush. So just get some of this in here. Well, this is not the one I use. This one has pink on it. That's what happens when you have tons of them. See, here's another one right here. Okay, so let's try this again. I don't want pink snow. I've had the Snowfall. I've done a ton with it. It's still right here. So don't feel like, oh, she just wasted that. It's not a waste. I'd rather use this and not have pink snow. At least it wasn't yellow, right? So now take this. Get a good portion of it. And then kind of just aim it. And like I said, I wanted to make sure that I got it on the green. You want some on your trees. Just kind of smuck it all on here. I did the cabin, the Christmas barn, and I did this on there as well. Almost scratched that. Maybe a little bit more because this doesn't have hardly any over here on the green, and it shows up nicely on the green. There we go. Try to get some on my front tree. That looks good. Now, again, you have to move this so we don't squish those pearls. And then I used to always take washi tape and I would have a color-coded system. So this would be my Snowfall puff paint one. And if you don't wipe it off, it does harden. So just take it over to the sink or use a wet wipe at your table and just wipe it off. Now you need to heat set this with your heat tool. And it makes it puff, makes it white, it makes it so you can see it better because we don't have any giant pieces of it like if you paint with it. Now I have, now I don't know which one it is because I've got a bunch of Stellas laying here. This one's almost gone. So, you know, you squeeze in, nothing else will come out. So before I move it from being gone of Stella and using it for trash, there is still like some beautiful glitter in there. It's just that it doesn't squeeze out. And you can see, you can hold them up to the window and you can see when they're empty. So I just want a little bit of sparkle on here. So you can get all of the Stella out this way and then move this to my junk. There's not a whole lot left in this one because I just put it all over my other card. So try to aim. You can see it right here. I'll hold it up and see if you can see it better. Aim for the darker spots and your trees. Some of my snow here has turned a little green because I didn't wait for my ink to dry. You'll see on my other one because I gave it a few minutes to be dry before I put the snow on, but y'all don't want to sit here and literally watch ink dry. Now this is the washi tape that is in with the Halloween stuff because there's really no place on here for ribbon. So cut this, it just adds a little bit of glitz without having to put any ribbon. I really wanted to put this on here, but it was detracting, so it didn't make the cut. Like all the other stuff that's over there from my class that didn't make the cut. So I'm just gonna add a couple of mini dimensionals. Then you could take any of the sayings out of the sentiments out of the framed and festive, I think that's what it's called, stamp set, and stamp them and emboss them in white on the inside. Just add that. So let me get my dry one. So can you see where it hit the, I never know because I can't see. I'm looking at a camera that's hanging in the air, so I don't know what you can see, but I'll try to get a close up. Even it's not a great day. So if I take the pictures today, there's no sun. But super easy. So we've used a ton of Wink of Stella. We used the backs of our dimensionals. We used to create our own pearls. It's just adorable. And I love that you can kind of cater the size because you can have giant ones or small ones. And sometimes if you want them to be just the right size, you can squeeze them onto your project as well. But this is one way, especially if you do a class or you're taking them somewhere, you don't have to wait for them to dry because it's hard to take them home because you don't want anything to press on it. In fact, at my camp, we had stuff that had the pearls on it and they got left here because we had to set them aside so they didn't get squashed. So that's what I have for you today. Come back in a couple of days and I will have a card featuring the upcoming set that will also be part of Card Club. Have a great one. Bye.